The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
It's a Wednesday here inside the SWBC podcast studio, home of your kickball champion Dallas Cowboys. This is Bill Jones along with Everson Walls and the legendary Mickey Spagnola. And this
Let's go.
is Mick
Applause,
Shots.
applause.
As Pittsburgh Steeler week is underway officially. There is football gear on a football field, and there will be football players out there in a matter of moments.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be an immaculate game.
Oh, we're going all the way back to 1972.
Yeah.
That's right. Same day as the Tony Fritsch behind the back onside kick and the Roger Staubach captain comeback win over the San Francisco 49ers.
More behind the Achilles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Behind the
calf.
behind the heel.
Behind the heel.
Achilles. Yeah.
Behind the heel. Yeah, there you
That's
go.
right.
Mhm.
That's right.
That's
what I remember
is that legal
from that day.
today?
That's what I remember from that day.
Okay.
My greatest day of watching football of my childhood was the immaculate reception followed by captain comeback at San Francisco as the Cowboys rallied for a 30-28 win over the 49ers.
So they asked Mike, where was he when he saw the immaculate reception?
Yep, growing up in Pittsburgh.
Growing up in Pittsburgh, watching it at home on his black and white TV, which we all did.
Yes, we did.
Where were you?
We actually got a color television.
Wow. Big time. He hated to say that, too. He hated to bring that up. You know, golly, man. You talk about a guy with a silver spoon in his mouth. Jeez.
They can smell fresh cash.
You know how I remember? You know how I remember when we got a color television? It got installed, delivered, whatever.
You mean the installation of the plug-in?
Right. The same that we turned it on, and LBJ was making his announcement that he was not running for president.
Wow.
Yeah, so that would have been,
moment in history.
1968 or whatever?
A moment
Yeah,
in history.
68.
Yeah. So
You got your TV in
that's
the 60s?
how I know. Yeah.
They got a color TV in the 60s, bro.
Hey.
Did you go to
we were
private
very,
school?
very affluent Irving neighborhood.
We still,
my
in the
God.
60s, we still had one
I
of
don't
those.
even know if those words go together.
Affluent Irving
Urban neighborhood.
Yeah.
We had one of those console things that I think there was a phonograph on one side, a TV on the other, and the knob broke.
Of course it did.
On I can't remember if it was the volume or the
channel. Yeah.
But we had one of those turnkeys from the coffee can that fit into where the knob was supposed to go to turn
'Cause
it
there's a
on and
slit
off.
right in
yes,
there. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
And it was always the cheap plastic.
Yes.
So it was probably the channel changer because the volume, it has no.
What, y'all had a channel changer?
Well, yeah, it was
On the TV.
Physically.
Well,
on the
no,
TV.
I had to get
Yeah,
out
you
of
had to
remote
go
control.
and do it.
I
Yeah.
had we had pliers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was
Yeah.
we put the
We
pliers
had
on
a
top of
coffee
the TV,
can key.
and every time you wanted to change, just get the pliers.
We not only had a color TV, but we had a cowboy antenna too.
I've
On
never
top
seen
of
one of those.
my dad put it had all these wires and metal and stuff on top of our roof, and actually we had there was a tornado that hit. That's so we could watch the Cowboys.
I know,
games.
that's good because
They were
everybody else
blacked
had
out.
to drive to Tyler.
Right.
Yeah, and so we picked up that Tyler TV station. It was all snowy and everything, but still we could pick it out. And
So that's why you wasn't tough enough to make it in basketball. You were a spoiled little kid.
no,
He was
basketball
rich
go.
kid.
Yeah, spoiled rich kid.
What do you mean I
That's
wasn't
why-
tough enough making a basketball?
Because
I started from MacArthur.
Junior high? Junior high, right?
Hey, we didn't play Berkner because y'all were 4A. I mean, y'all were 3A and we were 4A.
Yeah, when I got
That's
there, it was
right.
our first
First
year in 4A.
Okay.
1976.
So
But
Did
we played J.J. Pierce the Baxter boys over there.
One of those guys ended up being a high jumper.
Oh, yeah. I think we may have had this
The
conversation.
wide receiver ended up being a high jumper. I went against him, and he actually caught a pass on me.
One of them played basketball at Texas Tech, Joe Baxter.
So they got hops.
Yeah,
they had hops.
That's right.
Good stuff.
Right.
So
All right.
were you watching
What?
the Immaculate Reception?
Yes, of course.
At home?
Yeah, I didn't like it. Not at all. I didn't like Pittsburgh even.
And
then.
by the way, Mr. Peppermint.
I was a Raiders fan.
Mr. Peppermint's son played basketball at Lake Islands.
Okay,
And he became a rock star.
Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
That's an immaculate memory.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's
Do you want to talk immaculate receptions, or do you want to talk about receivers
Dr.
on this current
Peppermint?
team?
Man, I am so disappointed.
Mr. Peppermint. You don't know who Mr. Peppermint?
I know
Okay.
who he is.
All right. Okay.
We
We've
had
got some breaking
we had
news
Bozo
here.
Circus, by the way.
Oh yeah, we did too.
Chicago.
Yeah.
I love Bozo.
Yeah. We have breaking news here from Mike
Looks
McCarthy's
like
press conference.
and Mike McCarthy confirmed that Brandin Cooks has a knee issue and he won't be available for this game this week. Didn't mention how long he was going to be out, but all he would allow is he had a knee issue, or he didn't even allow that. But what's been reported is that he had a knee issue that was taken care of in New York after the game, and that it developed an infection afterwards.
And go ahead. Sorry.
And we probably need more questions. It just came out late this morning, so there's more questions.
Did y'all know
to
that
be
he had
answered.
stayed in New York?
No.
Did no one know? No one noticed that he was missing.
Well, I don't know that we took attendance on the plane ride home.
I'm just saying, it's amazing that this can come out.
That's right. How the reporters on that flight? How could you not account for all of the players who were flying back?
Yeah.
So they really tried to keep this secret.
They may
till it
not have
blew up.
had to fly back on the plane on a Thursday game. Could you not?
Oh, and have Friday off?
Because you're off on the weekend.
Do you think that's the reason that he stayed instead of
because he
having
had a
the
knee
procedure here at home?
I can't answer that.
Yeah.
All I know is he had a procedure, and it was he did allow that it was probably a continuation of end of training camp. He was missing some practices because he had a sore knee, so it sounded like they did something. He would not confirm. That's why Brandin got off to kind of a slow start in these first 4 games. It's like I'm trying to remember what his numbers were these first 4 games, but they weren't as high as they were in training camp with CD missing.
Well,
because that was the go-to guy.
I'll run down specifically his games. He had 4 catches for 40 yards and a touchdown
9
at Cleveland, 2 catches for 19 yards against New Orleans, 2 catches for 16 yards against Baltimore, and in this last game Thursday night, 1 catch for 16 yards. And he played 46 snaps against the Giants. CD had 47 snaps against the Giants.
9 total. So he had something bothering him. And then,
Which makes you wonder if he was planning with the mini bye weekend to go ahead and get
maybe
things
that,
cleaned up,
like, played
and there
through
was
it.
a complication or
he
something.
probably had a little bit of I'm just talking out loud.
Yeah.
If they did a procedure like that,
Thinking out loud.
Maybe a little bit of a
Cartilage,
meniscus tear or something, or maybe something was floating around in there, and you scope it, and within a week or so you're ready to
And
go.
that's what I was going to say. If it wouldn't have been gotten infected, then he would
might
be
have
back
been.
in time.
He might have
Hopefully,
been.
And again, this is all speculation.
Yes, yes.
We have not heard anything. Right. In fact, McCarthy said, I don't get into specifics of the players' injuries. These specifics should be answered by the players or by the guys on Mick shots, but he will not be available this week.
Well, we've got a sports writing medical degree here.
is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Cumulatively.
Masters.
So what do the Cowboys do at wide receiver as we confirm that Cooks is not playing against Pittsburgh this week?
Oh, they're trading for Devontae Adams, of course.
you're saying that tongue-in-cheek because you just saw it on the
TV
ESPN
screen
News
that he's unhappy.
There's speculation because he is asked
very
for a trade.
unhappy.
Yeah,
He is very unhappy. When you talk to yourself on the sidelines, you can look at the look on his face. He's arguing with himself.
Well, you know what? Guys are happy when they go somewhere else and make money.
Yes.
Right? And then when they don't win, they're unhappy.
Well,
What happened to the money?
In that case, it was different. Something happened with Carr. I don't know what happened, but if I recall, they're college teammates, right?
Yes, Fresno State.
So here comes, what's his name again?
Devontae
Adams. They have a house right next to each other. Was that true? He bought a house right next to Carr. And then something happened with Carr. I forget what happened, but now Carr is gone.
Yeah.
And so, but that's why he came there. He came there to play with his college teammate who was having a decent season.
And he now has Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell as his quarterbacks. And then they've got a quarterback controversy of sorts going on out there right now, which means they don't have a quarterback. Well, Carr's in New Orleans, and another guy he has had much success with, Aaron Rodgers, is in New York with the Jets.
Okay.
So those would be two likely landing spots for him.
But I'm sure when he signed his contract, he assumed that Derek Carr was going to be there with him more than just 1 year. And so that affected not just his career, his numbers, talking about Adams, but also the direction of the team. And then you got rid of the running back as well, who was doing very well, Josh Jacobs. And now you're stuck with what you have. And I don't know what kind of moves they were making.
And his guaranteed money.
Yeah, I'll take the money, but you still can't win. Money doesn't make you win.
It's almost like in college football, you get 4 games into the season, and the rules in college are that you can play 4 games, and if you play beyond 4 games, then it counts as a year for you.
Right.
You can play in 4 games and not play the rest of the season, and it can be a redshirt year for you.
Right.
So there are actually now, especially with the NIL and transfer portal, there are guys that the team gets off to a 1-3 start the first 4 games, and they're okay. I'm out of here. I'm going in the transfer portal.
Ron Spriggs
so that
called it
doesn't
the
count
whisper
against them.
jet.
Yeah.
So this is a good,
It happened in Vegas with the quarterback
There you go.
out there with UNLV.
This is a good
Yes.
example of when you get an injury like they did with the defensive ends. Everybody wants to bring up, well, who are you going to trade for, right? Now you get this injury. Had you traded already for somebody, now do you trade for this injury?
Right.
You can't keep trading every time somebody gets an injury. When
That's
it's
what the
not,
practice squad is for, right?
yeah, and that's and if it's not season ending. Now this doesn't sound like it's season ending. It may be ending during the bye week. Who knows? But you can't just keep overreacting. And then everybody says, well, you got this amount of money under the salary cap. Well, one of the reasons they created that money, it was not for this year. It was to carry over for next year when they're really going to be up against the salary cap. Mm-hmm. And then when you explain that to somebody, they'll go, well, I can't worry about next year. I'm worried about this year. Mm-hmm. I'm all in.
No, we were all in last year.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, now everybody's mad
Right.
because we were all in and now we're out.
So you can't just keep every time you get an injury say, okay, I got to go trade for somebody. And so, the Jalen's have to step up. Jalen Tolbert, Jalen Brooks, Kavonte Turpin, and then I would imagine Flournoy.
We have confirmation on how you say his name.
Flournoy.
Flournoy.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Ryan
easier.
Flournoy.
That's easier.
Flournoy.
Yeah, that's easier.
Flournoy, which
It's easier not to have
and that's
to
what it
pronounce
is in the media
R,
guide.
right?
That's what it is in the media guide. But and I had meant to, and I'd left training camp and could not talk to him face to face to ask him because there was much talk. Is it Flournoy? Is it? And so on preseason games, I was using what the Cowboys media department has in the media guide, Flournoy. And Babe Laufenberg since then has asked him face to face, and it is Flournoy.
That's
so
easy. Much easier.
We asked Amani how to say his name also, by the way, after the game.
And what did he say?
Just what it sounds like.
What's it sound like?
Oruwariye.
That's not how he said it.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Well,
he said it.
yeah, a little bit faster. I did it phonetically.
Right. I'm sure it sounded better than that.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
O-U-R-E-A.
Oh no, that's Oru Warrior.
Oru Warrior.
That's what you
That's
said.
That's what I said.
No, this last time he said OU.
You know, when he said we got confirmation, I thought he had confirmation that Flournoy was going to be active on
No, we just
Sunday.
know how to say his name.
That's
when he
all.
Is,
That's the only
when he is
confirmation we-
activated.
Right.
So
But
anyway,
when
when it rains, it pours. When injuries hit,
Going on the road, playing against Pittsburgh.
and I still like the Cowboys wide receivers, wide receiver depth better than the Steelers wide receiver depth.
No doubt.
yeah, absolutely.
So when you look at a situation like this, you have no choice but to depend on something that you're not accustomed to. That's running game and defense.
Well, if you can run block, then you can depend on the running game, and we'll see if they've gotten better about that, because this offense needs to improve. And there's no, everybody's concerned about the defense. They have been concerned about the defense, and rightfully so after giving up all those points in those second and third game. But the offense certainly isn't offsetting any of the defensive problems, and they need to be able to step up. So we'll see if they've made progress or not.
They're going to have to change the game plan. You can't come out with the same type of rhythm. We're used to coming back there. As soon as Dak's back leg hit, we're throwing passes. We've got to really change our mindset when it comes to this game. We just don't have the same people in place. You've got a lot of young guys out there, so it's gonna take a little adjustment, and all of that's gonna have to fall on the veterans, and including your quarterback.
So who would you like to get increased snaps at wide receiver? Which of those guys? We're talking Tolbert's been getting. He got
He's part
39
of it,
snaps,
yeah.
so he's part of the big three.
You're
okay.
the
So
next
now
three.
you're talking Jalen Brooks, Ryan Flournoy, Cavante Turpin.
That's who I see.
I want Turpin.
Me too.
That's who I see.
That's my answer too.
You got to create. You got to get him open.
He's got receiving skills.
He does, and more so than they've taken advantage of. Because when he and not that it's the same level of play, I get it, but when he was in the USFL and he won Offensive Player of the Year award, it wasn't for his returns. He was a receiver. I don't know how many games they played, 10 games maybe, regular season.
Right.
He had 40-some receptions.
Well, and a great example is the Baltimore game. He had, because they were playing from behind against Baltimore, he had 18 snaps on offense. That's probably the most he's had on offense. Well, he had 19 against New Orleans, too. Both games they were playing from behind. So they were in the nickel and 4 receiver sets a lot. And so that's why he got more opportunities. He had 3 catches for 51 yards and a touchdown against Baltimore.
And Mike pointed out when he was asked about Turpin that he said he can play all 4 spots. I'm very proud that he can play all 4 spots. I think he's grown a ton since he got here as a wide receiver.
He was like that at TCU. He was a baller.
Yeah.
Right.
As a wide receiver, not just as a return guy.
Right.
So
It'd be something we can
He's
hang
the
our
guy.
hats on. You still have CD. You still have Turpin. You're gonna need a lot more.
and then you can be
You
stronger.
still have Tolbert.
Well, and then if Turpin gets increased snaps and he develops more as an NFL wide receiver, then you're even better when Cooks gets healthy and gets back.
Now, one thing you have to remember, this is a Pittsburgh defense that knows how to take people out. They know how to eliminate you from the game plan. I don't know how their DBs are going to play, but if I'm playing against someone like Turpin, I'm just saying if I'm one of the DBs for Pittsburgh, I'm going to get up and press this guy. I'm going to make sure I take away all the timing that the quarterback thinks he's going to have.
But what if
between
he's
me
in the
and wide
slot?
receiver.
Can't press him in the slot, can you?
Why not?
Because he's going to get a free release.
It's not free. Not if you press him. You can't. Why can't I press against the slot?
Because
Tell
he's
me.
not going to be on the line of scrimmage.
Oh, you can still jack him up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can still jack him up. Now, good on your part. it gives him a bit of a disadvantage, but not necessarily that much to where it gives him, free reign. I would not give it. That's not the case. It will not be free reign. That I can tell you. It will be a little bit more of a relief because now I'm not here with him. He has this much space. So he better use it. He better use it, and he's got to get off the line of scrimmage fast because we are a timing and a rhythm passing offense.
Well, he should get 2 steps free.
Give me 2 steps. Give me 2 steps.
There's some song about give me 2 steps.
They're gonna need it because this game plan is. I don't think it's gonna be the exciting game plan that we're accustomed to. I think we're gonna have to dial it down, play a much more conservative game.
Pittsburgh has a Cavante Turpin type who's their slot corner. Rookie out of West Virginia, 5'9", 180-pound Beanie Bishop.
Wow.
That could be the matchup of the game.
That is the
Cavante
matchup.
Turpin versus Beanie Bishop.
Yeah, they better worry about CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. If they worry about CeeDee Lamb, that's great. So then Turpin gets the one-on-one.
You might like putting CD in the slot against 5'9", 180-pound Beanie Bishop, too.
I don't think they're going to do that.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to do that.
Well, he moves around.
Well, see, we can create that type of matchup.
Right.
We can create that. We can determine that.
And then you get Turpin on the outside running
Now you have to make sure that all your wide receivers have their game plan down because you have players that, thank God, have gotten some numbers, have gotten some plays in throughout these first 4 games. Thank God.
All right, we're just getting started on Mix Shots. So much more to get to when we come back in just a moment.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pregame sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Miller Lite is brewed with great taste and only great taste.
The Miller Brewing Company would like to issue a correction. Miller Lite is brewed to be less filling. What are you doing here?
Miller Lite tastes great.
Look, I'm just reading the script. It says less filling.
That's not what my script says.
Well, mine says...
We'd like to apologize for the previous announcers. Miller Lite is in fact less filling and tastes great. Time to shine, legal guy.
Celebrate responsibly. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Beer. 96 calories and 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
Back to Mixed Shots.
Are you the 2024 Dallas Cowboys Fan of the Year? The Dallas Cowboys and Captain Morgan are celebrating extraordinary, inspiring, and original fans. Nominate yourself or be the biggest Cowboys fan you know for a chance to be named the 2024 Fan of the Year and win prizes including a trip to Super Bowl 59. Visit DallasCowboys.com/Fan of the Year. Go Cowboys.
Okay. That was a great read there, Everson.
I wouldn't say great.
There was just the peanut gallery in the background.
That's right. Where did that come from?
I don't know who that was.
I don't know. We do have Nate in Frisco who says aluminum foil antenna ears on top of the TV.
That's what I was watching it on a black and white.
There you go. All right.
With rabbit ears.
Very good. Where would you like to go here? Did you find your depth chart that you're looking for?
Not really.
Feverishly?
I may have printed it out wrong because I had so much stuff in here.
This is old school. This is an old school Pittsburgh Steeler press release where you've got it all printed out.
That's
you
right.
don't have it on your computer.
That's a lot of stuff.
Okay.
I can use it without
The Cowboys the same way over there, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he prints out everything.
That's a lot of stuff.
And
a lot
the
of trees.
NFL stats, too. By the way.
Okay.
We probably ought to talk about the guy we thought they were going to sign yesterday.
Yes.
That you uncovered.
KJ Henry. That's right.
By the way. Off
we
to Cincinnati. Remember you said, I hear that they're going to.
No, I said that's who I think they should sign. After my scouting efforts, and I looked over every practice squad in the league, and I decided, you know what? The edge rusher that I want is the guy that's a second-year, former fifth-round draft pick of Washington who's on the Cincinnati practice squad. KJ Henry.
That, by the way,
you didn't influence anyone. I hope you're not saying that. I mean, they were already headed there, and I think you probably read it before you came in.
Might have read it on Twitter that's who they're going to sign.
He spent 5 years at Clemson. He had a redshirt year or a COVID year in there, but he was get this, he was a 2-time academic All-American defensive end, and he finished at Clemson with his bachelor's and master's degree.
Wow.
How about that? Made them 5 years pay off, or got something
and while still playing
5
ball.
years.
Still playing ball.
Sounds like a Brent Venables recruit.
Right? And he went to Clemson. His other 2 choices were Alabama and Georgia, and he chose Clemson.
His degrees in sports communication in December 2020, and his master's degree in athletic leadership, December 2021.
What is athletic leadership, you think?
I don't know.
They got a program for that?
Maybe you get a master's if you're named team captain at Clemson, and you get a master's in athletic leadership.
Well, so at Washington, he played in 10 games last year, had 3 starts.
Okay.
19 tackles, a sack and a half, 4 tackles for losses, a couple quarterback hits. He played against the Cowboys, 31 snaps the first time, 1 tackle. And in the last game, I guess they're playing everybody, right? He had 48 snaps, 1 tackle.
Damn. It's hard to get a tackle.
I guess.
Washington. God damn. I was hoping you were going to say, this game.
No.
It's still 1 tackle.
I just wanted to see how much he played against against the Cowboys if they had, intimate game tape on it, right? And then he got released on the final cut, and then the Bengals picked him up. He played 2 games. I think it looked like it was just special teams, and then he got demoted to the practice squad. So we'll see.
Son of a coach too.
That was my next point.
What's his downside? I mean, I know his stats to me are a downside, but he's got all this mental capacity going. He's
in college,
did well.
As Bill pointed out yesterday.
What's his problem? What does he not do?
He was a 5-star recruit, too.
251. He weighed 251 at the combine and ran a 4.6 40. So he's got some athletic ability.
Just a little light in the butt.
So I don't know. He was somewhat of
looking for an opportunity,
a run starter, a stopper, more than a pass rusher. I think that was his deal coming out. But the analysis was in the draft that, a guy that potentially could work into being a starter. So maybe he's a guy that needs some time. He was a team captain, too, by the way.
I hear all of that, but then I keep hearing 1 freaking tackle. You know what I'm saying?
That was against the Cowboys.
I'm just saying, not just the Cowboys, the last game of the season.
That Cowboy offensive line's tough.
I hear all this stuff. I'm wondering what is holding him back? That's all I want to know.
Well, there's a reason why he was on the practice squad.
Yes, see, that's where I'm headed. That was going to be my last statement, but I want you to say something otherwise.
As I said yesterday, I wanted to point out that was because Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler were there
Yeah.
ahead of him at defensive end.
Okay.
So we'll see.
We will.
But at least it's a body that's prepared to play, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have to come here and ramp up.
Well, we can mark him down for one tackle. I can say that much. We can get him. We can get that.
He had 19 last year.
19 tackles.
So that's almost one a game.
Okay.
Do you have his snap count?
I don't think it. Let's get off of this. Let's go somewhere else.
I had it
okay, the
against
bigger picture.
The Cowboys.
Is he actually going to play against Pittsburgh this
yes,
week?
I bet he does.
Okay. So who you lining up to replace DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons?
Nealon to start, Golston, and then I'm rotating in Carl Lawson, who hopefully is in good enough shape and ready to play football after barely playing last year and not going to training camp with anybody.
Except he was with the Cowboys.
But he was with the Cowboys at the end of training camp after they had a workout and let him go home and then came back. So
you think
he
they told
should
him to
be
go
ready.
get in shape and come back? Is that what you think they told him?
Well, that's why he ended up on the practice
Or was
squad.
there a financial issue?
He, I think initially he was looking for more money, and then when no more money showed up, it was like, okay, well, I'll go back there and sign. So at least the guy's played in the league, right?
I don't know.
He's played quite a while in the league too.
Like
He's had
7
some
years,
success
right?
in the league too.
7 years.
Carl Lawson's the guy you're counting on.
Yeah.
Right now to get by with the
really
Micah
step
injury.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the guy that's going to have increased snaps.
I hope they're in shape. I hope they've been practicing well, because they are going to get a heavy dose of that black and gold coming straight at them, trying to run downhill. What's the running back's name for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Harris?
Najee Harris.
Najee Harris.
And they got Cordero Patterson as well, who's banged up a little bit right now. And
Thank God for that.
But he did play last game. He just didn't have and he hadn't had very many snaps so far.
So
That's the other thing
I
as far
realize
as
how big he was.
Oh yeah, he's
a load. Really underrated
he's been a
player.
wide receiver, and then late in his
return
career,
man.
a return man,
Amazing
five-time
return
Pro
man.
Bowler as a return man.
Shoot.
In fact, it's not a coincidence that the Steelers signed him on the same day the NFL changed the kickoff rules to the dynamic kickoff. That means literally that was the first signing in the league after it was announced that they approved the kickoff rules. Is Pittsburgh signed Cordero Patterson?
That's smart move. Smart move.
That's right.
So he's only averaging 3.4 a carry.
Is that Harris or
Harris?
Yeah.
Fields is at 3.8. So, and Lawson played 22 snaps in this last game. So,
But that just lets you know their mindset. 3-point-plus yards, that's good enough for them.
Is it good enough for us?
Nope, it is not good enough because our defense hadn't showed that they can give us more chances.
Well,
what they're doing is
and their
playing to their defense. They're playing to their defense.
And the reason they lost their last game really is because their defense didn't play like they played the first 3 games of the year from the start of the season. You watch the opening drive of the game.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson comes out firing. He threw a laser over the middle that somehow was caught in traffic for about 35 yards. And then even on their next drive, they ran it right at the Steelers.
Very unusual.
Yeah.
Very unusual.
And Mike Tomlin talked about it in his press conference yesterday. He was not happy with the way his defense came out and started that game. Now they got better after a while, and he's like, that's a point of emphasis for them, and he feels good about the fact that who the opponent is this week, and it's Sunday Night Football, and his defense will be ready to play from the start of the game.
So you're talking about the Colts. That's the running back Taylor. I mean, that's what they do. They run the ball.
Taylor had 88 yards. They ended up 32 carries for 133 yards.
That's what they do.
So,
we're not as efficient at running the ball as they are.
And Flacco completed 16 of 26 for 168, 2 touchdowns. He had a 105 quarterback rating, by the way.
That's when the quarterback got hurt.
Yeah, Richardson got hurt his hip on that second series of the game.
And Pittman, wide receiver,
Michael Pittman.
6 catches for 113 yards.
And one of them was that first play of the game.
He's amazing. Yeah, he's their CD.
The 32-yarder.
Yep.
Average 18.8 a catch.
It's like you said. They better worry about CD, and we should play off of that. They better worry about CD.
Well, they'll worry about CD by putting pressure on Dak Prescott.
And
Cowboys better worry about T.J. Watt.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Of course. Jeez. Come on.
That means
Cameron Hayward up front on their defense, too.
So who's going against Watt?
Wherever they put him.
Don't
you think?
Well, and against the Colts, early in that game, I haven't looked at the entire game, but early in the game, he was lining up on the left side, left defensive end. So it'd be steal. But
I bet they move him around.
I'll watch the rest of the game later today.
That means more snaps for Lipke. You got to chip him.
Yeah.
You got to make sure that he doesn't get free runs at the quarterback.
I think that's going to be our MO.
Lipke is our Darnell Washington.
Yes.
You know Darnell Washington. He's the big tight end for Pittsburgh, who's basically, I loved him in the draft out of Georgia. Wore number 0 at Georgia Everson. I remember, Brock Bowers was their tight end.
Yes.
But I remember for the first time watching Georgia and going, who is number 0? I fell in love with Darnell Washington, and he wound up being a 3rd-round pick.
Right.
And he had a knee issue, and a lot of teams had him red flagged because of that. But the Steelers took him. He hadn't missed any time, and that he's actually caught a touchdown pass in one of their games this year. They're finally starting to use him a little bit in the pass game, but he is basically a 6th offensive lineman on the field. And he'll play 30 or 40 snaps. And he adds to their run game as basically a 3rd offensive tackle. He's that big. He's 6'7". I think he was 270 at the combine, but he's athletic. He's built like he's Mercedes Lewis. Yeah. Mercedes Lewis has played 20 years in this league.
I forgot all about him.
And he's still in the league. He plays for Chicago now. But that's who and Mercedes Lewis was a late first round draft pick at Jacksonville. And that's who I thought Darnell Washington is if he stays healthy.
So the Colts figured out how to stop T.J. Watt. He had 2 assisted tackles. That's it. They didn't do such a good job with Cam Hayward. Hayward had 6 tackles. 1 sack, 1 tackle for a loss, 3 quarterback hits.
He's a big reason that Najee Harris had, 13 carries for 19 yards in that game?
Do what now?
You're talking about Cam Hayward, right? Had that big game.
The Steelers
he's with
defensive tackle with the Steelers.
Yeah, he's with Pittsburgh.
Yeah. That was a very confusing
comment.
I
said, do what?
You've been drinking my coffee. Yeah. You've been drinking my coffee, Bill.
He's not the reason. No, it's the Colts guy. Let's take a break, and we'll be back with more Mick Shots in just a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel? Attend the best tailgate party in Texas? Tour the Star and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Back to Mick Shots.
Step up your game day look with the 2024 Dallas Cowboys Nike Zoom Pegasus running shoes. Discover the ultimate comfort with its responsive cushioning and breathable mesh. Visit a pro shop near you or log on to shop.dallascowboys.com. A Fanatics experience to score yours today.
Final few minutes of Mick Shots for a Wednesday, and the breaking news, in case you missed it, is that Brandin Cooks is out this week, has a knee issue. So the Cowboys are going to need some receivers to step up against the Steelers on Sunday Night Football this week. And Mickey, anything else that we need to know out of Mike McCarthy's press conference today?
Well, let me look and see if there's anything of note here. He said Kalen Carson is slated to go at practice. They're going to see just where he's at if they start his, what do you get, 21 days coming off IR? So I think they're going to kind of judge where he's at in his rehab to see if it's time to start his clock ticking. So that would certainly help out. And it looked like Bland is getting closer to.
Yeah, how close?
Yeah, I didn't mean. I confused Carson. Carson, they're looking to see if he can practice. Bland is getting close to starting his 21-day coming off of IR.
So what we're looking at with Bland is there a chance he could play before the bye week? Is my question.
My answer probably would be depending on how much he does once they start him. Because usually the way they treat guys coming off IR is you practice 1 week, and if you get through 1 week, then you practice the next week, and you probably release you to play. So he's got to have 2 weeks of practice before they normally let guys
my next
go
question
back.
is the 21-day window. Okay, obviously if let's say they activated him today and started his 21-day window.
Yeah, and
where
then
you got this week and the Detroit week. That's 2 weeks, basically 14 days of your window. Does your bye week count in the count against those days?
I believe it does. So it wouldn't be smart to do it until next week, because there's no way he'll I mean, if he has to practice 2 weeks before he plays, I mean, if he started today, would he be ready for the Detroit game? I don't know. Then you got the bye. It seems like you would use the bye. So if Carson's ready to go, that helps out. Although, so when everybody asks about elevating Dalvin Cook, they're going to have to elevate a defensive end, and they're going to have to elevate a cornerback. You only get 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those are the necessities right now to fill out those 2 spots. So Bland, he said he's working towards that, meaning returning to practice. So it doesn't sound like he's returning to practice. And think about it, you don't practice during the bye week.
And what exactly is the injury?
For Carson?
It was Bland. I'm talking Bland now.
No, Bland was a fractured 5th metatarsal. Carson was a shoulder. So they did surgery on it, and the reason you do surgery on it is because it helps facilitate a faster recovery from the broken bone or fractured bone.
Every team in the league is going through this stuff.
Yep.
Including the Steelers. I mean, they've got injuries on their offensive line and they've got injuries elsewhere too. Their second running back, Jalen Warren. I mentioned Patterson as well. But I mean, just look across the board, all across the league. Everybody's dealing with injuries of some sort, and major injuries.
Oh, and about Henry, McCarthy said that the personnel department had their eye on him for a while. So probably you go back and look at what you thought of him about the draft, and then
they probably liked him at the draft, and he was fifth round pick for Washington, and then you keep an eye on him. And especially in the case of Washington, they this year with a changing coaching staff, then you sign a couple of free agents, and Armstrong and Dante Fowler from here, and it becomes a money game, and you're trying to get him to the practice squad, and so he gets an opportunity to see what he can do here.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys have had an obvious need, even going back to, I think they had a need even before Sam Williams got hurt. I mean, did they replace both Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler in free agency?
That would be a no.
Right. So they were lacking in depth to begin with.
That's why it was really important that Sam Williams played well, because that was going to allow them to use Micah Parsons more at linebacker. And then when he went
Which is why Parsons got down to 240.
Yeah, exactly.
His college weight.
And that never materialized. It was materializing in training camp until Sam Williams got hurt.
Well, good. This will give Micah an opportunity to put on more weight. He can be more like a defensive end, which is
right back to where he was. Yeah.
Well, no.
I'm joking, but
no. And tomorrow we're going to do a deep dive into Mozzie Smith.
Good job. I like that.
Who is emerging.
I like that.
We'll see if it continues.
Okay.
I do like that.
All right. Very good. So it'll be Mozzie Thursday on Mick Shots tomorrow at high noon.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!